Look who's back. Back again. Terry's back. Tell your friends. The best way you can tell your friends is to share our content. You see all of our social sites streaming down below. If you haven't done so already, kindly hit that subscribe, like, follow, all that kind of stuff. You know the social media routine by now, folks. We shouldn't have to remind you, but still, all the data says only 1 out of 9 people hits the subscribe, follows along on X, follows on Facebook. So be one of the 9, not part of the 8. Be a leader, not a follower, folks. That's what we try to do here at Horse Racing Today on Horse Racing Radar TV. Back for terrific Terry Thursday at Gulfstream Park. I want to say thank you for Tom for sharing in, filling in yesterday, of course. It's always fun to work with Tom. When the show is over, if you go over to horseracingtoday.net, you will see a replay of the show right here, along with all of our comments. You can hit the HRT Gear button, hook yourself up with a hat, a sweatshirt. I'm telling you, spring is coming at some point, folks. I promise you. And, of course, we have free picks today, a guaranteed tip sheet. There is a link in the description below so that you can get Sunland Park. All sorts of cancellations today. So we went through like 3 different ones before we could settle on one that was actually running. We know they're running in Gulfstream today. Terry, what's happening in the opener?
All right. So in this opening race, we're going to go out at 6 furlongs, and it's going to be a maiden claiming race, $12,500 claiming price, purse $25,000 for maidens 3-year-olds.
Yes, and we know for maidens, or at least at 6 furlongs anyway, on that dirt course, early speed dominates 34% of the time. Gate to wire winners. Inside is better than outside, and done a little bit. We have our sheets up here now. This is what we're working with. So this is what we're going to bring to the table going forward. I'm going to move it to the full screen, Terry. So you can talk a little bit about what we see here. You got the first call leaders up in here. Early pace, late pace, big gap there for the 6. Total pace, again, usually the top 4 produces the winner. You can see only the 6 has hit par so far. Over here, you got the jockeys and trainers relative to each other. First-time starter scores, you can't get that anywhere else. And, of course, over here we have our C-zones, as well as our race shapes and our speed figure charts. All of this is available, a link in the description below in YouTube and on Twitter for the data sheet. Kindly download that so you can keep up with the show or use them for yourself. All right, Terry, enough with all that. Let's go about making our picks for race number 1.
Well, I like the number 6 horse, Grand Jeffy. He finished second versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. He has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Ashbury, the 4, is my second choice. He's a first-time starter whose dam has 5 winners from 5 starters. One of those was the stakes winners. His breeding suits today's sprint distance. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Isaac Leo, the 2, ran second versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. My third choice. The 1 is my long shot, first-time starter whose breeding suits today's sprint distance. And the Rail Post is winning at a 32% clip. No bets for me in this race.
I'm going to go with the 6-horse Grand Jefe. That ran the top last race speed figure, 11 points clear of everybody else. You see that right here in the data sheet. Asbury, the 4-horse, you can see over here, is the top rated first-timer. Besides the 6-horse, no other horse in this race has hit par, so you got to play the firsters. Isaac Leo, the 2-horse, showed better late pace last time out, along with better early fractions. The classic third start after a layoff. And then finally, Valiant Package, the 5-horse, is another first-timer, has decent workouts against a field, again, where most of the horses failed to touch that par button. Whenever they fail to touch the par button, you got to look extra close at those first-time starters. Looks like they're trying to make their way over the track, Terry. I don't think we have time to get into race number 2 yet. So while we wait for race number 2, perhaps we can run through signing up again for the social sites.
All right. Well, if you like what you see, and I know you're going to, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel and go ahead and hit that bell so that you're notified about all the great programs we have coming up. Go down and copy that link and share it with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. Then go to our social sites such as Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Not Twitter.
X, yeah.
TikTok,
all of them, huh?
and give us give us at Horse Race the number 2 day a thumbs up and like, and then keep these comments coming. And thanks, Jonathan, for welcoming back. Hello, Don, and hello, Eddie.
So if we take a look at the first race here, let's pull up the first race on my screen. I can't share it with you on your screen. Pull up here. If we're looking for some odds right now, well, we have the simulation odds, the 1, Karif, at 9-2. But a lot of these horses really are going to even out because of the maiden claiming nature of this race. 25-1, we think 9-2 is a pretty good value, so you get some good value there. The 2 horse, that's the favorite, Isaac Leo, at 7-5 right now. Maybe paying a little bit too much for that horse. The 3 we also have at 9-2, so a lot of value in this race. The 4's at 92 right now. The 2 and the 4 are your favorites, along with the 6 at 9-5. Of those horses, really none of them giving you great value according to our simulation odds. And we put 1,000 simulations together to determine which horse we think has the best chance to win. If you're looking for the one that's going to get out to the front, it does look like the 7 horse not only has the best chance to lead 46% of the time in our simulations, but the horses that have some experience. Also the top early pace horse. You see here the top late pace, a big margin for the 6 horse. That 17-point margins, more than 3 lengths. Every 5 points equals 1 length. Total pace, about 2.5 lengths better than all the experienced horses. Terry, the 3 horse over here is the only one that's dropping in class. That can be important. If you're looking for your best jockey, that looks like the 2 horse or the 4 horse. The best trainer, yeah, you got the 4 horse and the 2 horse again. Perhaps why those are 2 of your favorites. And of course, down here, we have the comfort zone, the 6 horse with all that top last race speed figure advantage is your top C zone. That means that 75% of our simulations, that horse's best race matches our projected pace today. 2 horse wants to be up front. 3 and 7, they haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader so far. 1, 4, and 5 today, they make their debuts. Of the experienced horses, the 6 horses speed pattern or speed chart far superior than the rest of the field. So that's all of the data that you see in here and more. But that's how we line it up. Again, for every single race, you can find that for today at Gulfstream Park. There's a link in the description here on YouTube, and soon, very soon, this will be available for every single track across the country. Well, that runs thoroughbred racing here and in Canada for Woodbine. Peter Aiello about to get cracking on race number 1. We'll share with you what we see. I can't share it with you live because we would get sued. We don't want that, right, Terry?
No, we sure don't.
Especially with the amount of money we make around here. All right. Peter Aiello telling us that the last horse is about to go in. Great guy, Peter. If you're ever down there at Gulfstream Park, if you see him, say hi. I'm sure he'll engage. And let's back up so we have our picks in here, Terry, instead. And they're about to get off and running, and they are off and running. Well, the 1 horse got off to a sluggish start. The 2 horse has made its way to the front. The 6 horse riding in the shotgun position. So Grand Jefe. I hate this front-on view. I think I brought that up yesterday because you have no idea what's happening. But it does look like the 2 and the 6 are up on the front with the 2 horse on the lead. The 7 riding 3 wide in third. So they make their way through the turn after an opening quarter in a pedestrian 23.06 seconds. Behind the 7, you have the 3 and the 4 chugging along. The 2 and the 6 are going along pretty easily. It looks to me like the 2 is running easier than the 6 right now. Although the 6 is trying to come wide, I would think that the 2 horse is probably going to be the one that they got to beat. Question is, can they beat them as they move up alongside? Because the 2 was the last to move. And I think the question is going to be, I don't know, the 6 is coming on. He switched leads. He's going to give it a go. I think the 6 is going to go by him at the end. He is going to go by him at the end. It's going to be a race between the 7 and the 5 to see which one can come home third. It's going to go 6, then 2, then 7, 5, 4. 6, 2, 7, 5, and 4 in your opening. So we both got the 6 as our top pick there. Honestly, if I would have known he was going to go off at 8-5, Terry, I probably would have put him on the list as a best bet for the day.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go off at like 3-5 or 2-5.
Yeah.
Let's move on to race number 2. Hopefully, we have more winners at the top of our tickets today. What's this one all about?
All right. Well, we're going to stretch out in this race to 1 mile and 70 yards. And it's on the all-weather track. A maiden claiming race, $12,500 claiming price. Purse is $25,000 for maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds.
That was another one yesterday, that 4-horse that I expected. See, a lot of times I'm a little reluctant to just pick one horse because so many times this happens to me, and I don't know why, and probably because I'm looking at the same data that a lot of the people who are on the syndicates. I'll find a horse that I like at 7-2, and the next thing I know, he's going off at 2-7, and it's just like, yeah, you don't really get a lot out of that. But again, there's no value in a losing ticket, so might as well take a winner if you can get one. At $170 on the synthetic, what you're looking for are horses that stalk. Peyton Manning, 18% of the time, the horse that gets the first call at the first call has the first call at the last call. There is a real big discount for Ruby River. 2 and 3 get a bit of a bonus. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, a small discount. All right, Terry, I'm going to pull up the data for race 2. I know it's new to you as well, so let's try to work our way through it. What do you see here?
Well, it's anybody's guess on that speed. As you can see, the speed at the first call. All of them show some speed, especially the 1, 6, and 4. And then 7 has an overlay. Let's see. The overlay is from 4-1 to 8-1. The 8's overlay is from 9-2 to 6-1. The 9's overlay is 8-1 to 30-1. That's a nice overlay. The 5 and 10 have the best par plus numbers. And all of them show speed, as you saw. All but the 10 is got comfort zone numbers.
Yeah, so down here you see the comfort zone numbers. We're looking for a number over 50. And as Terry pointed out, a bunch of horses have par plus figures. You see them right here. What that means is when we did our 1,000 simulations, the horses were able to hit a speed figure of at least 70, which is the average winning speed figure for today's conditions for race number 2. As far as our picks go, Terry, that's where we're going to go next. So I know we're changing the structure of the show a little bit. Well, we usually talk about pace there, so I'll bring up the pace. We'll talk about the other parts of the sheet here. So the early pace in this race does belong to the 1, kind of matches up with the first call leader. The 4 will be in that mix as well as the 5. You see down here, as far as the race shape is concerned, most of the horses haven't been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. 5 and 6 want to be forward. 7 and 10 want to close. Let's see who's going to close. Well, the 7 does look like a closer, as well as the 8. Here's your top 4 total pace horses. Clear lead for those 4 over the rest. So 5, 6, 7, and 8, the middle horses. Winner usually comes out of that group. Again, if you like jockeys and trainers, it sure does look like that 6 horse. Top jockey, top trainer combination right in there. Terry, all of these horses, with the exception of the 4, the 6 and 7, and the 10, are dropping in class. Here you see how many lengths they're dropping. Zena's World is dropping 2.2 lengths. So pretty good class drop for the 2-horse, Terry. All right. What do you see as the winning pick here?
Well, I like the 10 Diamonds and Thrills. She finished second versus Tupper in her last race, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 6 Greylark. She was closing and was bumped in the stretch, what I think affected her finish. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Miss Morgan, the 5, is my third choice, has the highest last speed rating, drops in class today. Her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a really good workout on February 11th at 3 furlongs. And then Zena's Word, the 2, is my long shot. She drops in class today. Blinkers are added to keep her mind on business today. And she has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet the very first Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4, 2, 5, 6, 10 with the 5, with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the 1, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a $50 ticket.
I have the 10. We have the same trifecta again, 2 races in a row. Diamonds and Thrills. Second race improvement. And this horse can find its way to the winner's circle. 1 and 2 horses with a par race on their resume. Number 6, Greylark. That's next up for me. Third up, showed more stamina in her last with better early pace. Number 5, Miss Morgan, the other horse with a par run in the race, improved in both races post its debut. And then the 8-horse Grand Sticker, second race improvement. That's all that's needed. Extra distance helps. Let's pull that up in here too. You see over here with the second race on the 8-horse, showing a 75 second race par ability as a reason to take a look at that one. Move off to race number 3, Terry. That's next on our itinerary. I have to find, let me do my pick 4 here too. 5, 6, 8, 10, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 6 with the 110. Probably I could put another one back in the back end. So I'm probably going to do that. 110 and the 9. I got the money to spend. I might as well spend it, right?
You might as well.
Yes, indeed. And I have that too, Terry. So living in a house where the furnace is not working and it's 50 degrees all the time is not good for the health, I don't think.
Nope.
Race 3. Terry,
Well,
looks like this is an important one to you. What's
Yeah.
this one? What are they running for here?
We're going to shorten up to 5 furlongs. It's on the all-weather track. It's a claiming race, 12 or 17,500 claiming price, $28,000 purse, and it's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
5 furlongs on the synthetic, as you can imagine, and that short sprint does favor horses with a lot of giddy up and go when the gates open. Early speed takes the winning ticket in a little more than 3 out of 10 races, a little more than 1 out of 3. Outside is strangely better than inside. So outside in, Terry, in race number 3. Let's pull up our sheet here. Where's the speed in race 3?
Well, look there. That 5 shows the most speed in there. Should break to that out of that gate like a rocket and get to that finish line first. I mean, quarter full first. And then the 1 has an overlay 6-1 to 12-1. The 7 has an overlay 3-1 to 9-2. All of them show par plus numbers. And most of them are pretty good. The only one that doesn't is that 4-horse. And then all of them show speed, and they all show Q30s, or comfort zone, I mean, and especially the 5-horse.
Yeah, right here, the 5-horse.
Four. Yeah.
We're looking for numbers above 50%. The 4-horse, Call Me Penny, the only one in here. Our race shape tells us it's pretty balanced. 3 want to be 2 on the front, 2 in the middle, and then 2 in the back. Our speed chart, well, it sure looks like that 5-horse has the most upside, and its average race, it looks like, is as good as the best race for most. That's the red dot here. Jockeys and trainers, well, the top jock riding the 3-horse. These numbers are relative to the other jockeys in the race. Looking for the trainer angle, the 4 looks like a good play. Maybe the 5, maybe the 7, if the trainers are your thing. Early pace belongs to the 4 and 6, though it looks pretty competitive in here. We see a very similar picture over here, but it does look like the 5 might be the quickest out of the gate. At the end of the race, the 2 will be coming with the 3, 5, and 7 chasing. Pretty big drop off though from the 5 down. In fact, even a 2 is well ahead of everybody else. Top total pace, Terry, these 3 are well above the rest. The 3, the 2, the 5. You think one of these horses is well above the rest, and that's why you've made it your best bet of the day.
That's right. The 5 is my best bet of the day. Super's Lucky Lady. She finished second versus similar in her last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 21% of the claiming races. He has a horse running in. And then I like the 2 as my second choice. She likes Parks Racing. She's been in the money 70% of the time here at Parks and won 10% of those starts. The distance won't be a problem as she's been in the money 71% of the races at today's distance. Princess Blakely, the 3 is my third choice. She switches to high percentage winning jockey, and her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. The 7, New Diamond, is my long shot. She drops in class today and can improve while returning to a sprint. I'm going to play $40 to win on number 5, and then I'm going to play a $5 exacta key box, a 5 on top with the 2, 3, 7, and then a $10 exacta, the 5 on top with the 2, 3, 7 in second place. That's it.
I have the 2 at the top of my ticket. Evanora, highly consistent performer, loves the all-weather track. 6 times out, kind of hangs a bit. No wins, but a second and 4 thirds. So 5 out of 6 on the Tapeta. Super's Lucky Lady, really good chance, as we saw in the data sheet, to be the pace setter here. Good shot, too, to improve in the second start after a layoff. The 6-horse, Our Queen Candy, never off the board in 3 races on all weather with a win, a place, and a show. Should be forward against this crew and has some nice workouts to boot. And number 3, Princess Blakely Paco on a horse that hasn't had a clean trip in its last 3 races. That's probably why they're putting Paco on there today, so that it can get, he likes to bump things around anyway. So maybe won't get a clean trip again today with Paco on board, but at least should get a good ride. Race number 4, Terry, as we make our way through 9 races today at Gulfstream Park. Unfortunately, no Foreign Friday tomorrow, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the Saudi card myself tomorrow. I'll put some stuff up on Saturday, so the Saudi Cup will be available over at horseracingtoday.net. You can go over there and take a look at that. We'll post that on our socials when it's up and it's ready to go. Terry, we're ready to go to race number 4.
Yep, we're going to go stretching out to 1/16th. All-weather track, maiden claiming race, $17,500 claiming price. Purse $27,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, stalkers usually do pretty good. Middle forward, that's the way to get the job done. Still, despite the longer distance, a healthy 19% win on the front. There is a rail bonus for Chase Sloan. 2 through 7 play a little bit under par. 8 and out gets a bonus as well. So it's a barbell race. Horse on the inside, horses to the outside, gets squeezed a little bit in the middle, Terry. So some front end speed is useful. Who's got the most of it here?
Well, as you can see there, the 1, 4, and 5 have the most speed, so they can go head-to-head to that quarter pole. 2 has an overlay from 7-1 to 20-1. The 5 has an overlay from 3-1 to 5-1. And the 7 has an overlay from, well, it's not an overlay. I'm sorry. It's 12-1 to 12-1. So anyway, none except for the 1 have par plus numbers. It actually has at least par plus. The others have some percentages, but they're not as high as that 1 horse. All but the 7 and 6 do show speed, and the 1, 4, and 3 have the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah,
and
the
only
4, yeah, the 4 and 1 pretty strong there. 90% chance today's race is going to mirror their best performances. The 1, 3, and 4, they want to be on the front. The 5 and 7 so far not within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. The 2 and the 6, well, today they make their debuts. Looking over here, none of them have come close to a par race. The closest has been the 1 who did show better early pace, mid pace, late pace in its last race. Also, better fractions. You got a trio of horses moving up in class. Of course, the 2 of them are first-time starters. You see here, the 2 horse grades out as the top first-time starter, getting 2.67 out of a possible 3 points. That ain't bad. If you're playing the jockey angle, the 5 has the best. As one of the trainers in here screwed up our numbers in there. That's why that didn't work out. If you're looking for the early pace types, well, right here you see the 1, 3, and 5 should be out to the front. The 1 and 3 also have some of the best late speed with the 3, a 7-point advantage over the rest. They're your top 4, but really the 1, 3, and 4 clearly a class above all of the other experienced horses. And the one over here in the first column, its last race speed figure was 3 points better than the next closest experienced horse, Terry. A lot of different ways to go in this maiden claiming race. Which way did you go?
I like the 3 Ragman. He's been knocking at the door, finishing in the money in his last 4 starts, finishing 3rd versus similar in the last race. His best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. He actually tied with another horse, and he can handle today's distance. Then the 1 is my second choice. He ran second on the turf in his last race, switches to the high percentage winning jockey, and he has the highest last speed rating. Irish Wish, the 4 is my third choice, ran second versus similar in his last race. His best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with the horse above that I talked about. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and blinkers are added today. The long shot is a 2. He's a first-time starter who's bred well for route distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. No additional bets for me here.
I have the 1 as my top pick in there. Chase Sloan just missed last time out. It was a slightly higher level than what we're getting today. Esperanzito, the 2 horse. What the hell? None of them have hit par, so this one's got some good workouts, specifically January 4th, 4 furlongs and 47 and change. The 6 horse, Sam LaGrue, another first-time starter, has also a fast workout, same day, January 4th, 47 and change for 4 furlongs. So those are those past workouts that I look at to see if indeed the horse might have some talent. And then I have the 6 horse, the 5-horse, A Million Stories. It is the lone maiden special weight dropper. This might be when you go through your vertical pick 4s, pick 5s. Is that what you want to do? This very well might be the targeted all bet. I think it might be a safe play to do that there. You won't miss for sure. Race number 5 marks the middle of today's race card. It's the end of the early pick 4, Terry, and they're going to change surfaces for this one.
Yeah, they are. We're going to the turf for this one, and it's at a mile. It's a claiming race, $35,000 claiming price, purse $41,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And if they go one complete trip around the track, you see they're going to start, and they will finish in the same place. In order to start and finish there first, Terry, stalkers do good still, a hefty number. 23%. There's only one E23, and that's MJ. The post positions, they're mostly fair, although 2 and 3 get a bit discounted. And I think probably the reason why is the 1 gets the little edge as they turn in, and then the other horses box the 2 and 3 in if they get shuffled back. So having a little bit of early pace is useful, gets you in a good position, Terry. And in race number 5, it does look like the inside horse, the 3, has a good chance to be the leader.
It does, but there are some other ones that have some similar speeds or close to it. So I would think this is kind of an anyone's guess race. And then the 1 has an overlay 7-2 to 9-2. The 3's overlay is 7-1 to 15-1. 6 has an overlay 9-2 to 8-1, and the 10's overlay is 4-1 to 6-1. All but the 5 show par plus numbers, and that have a yes on the par race, and all of them have speed. All of them have comfort zone percentages, especially that 5 and that 8. They have pretty nice ones.
Very balanced race here. You got 4 horses on the front, 3 that want to close, a Sesame Street horse in the middle, woo, whatever. Looking at our speed chart, 10 horse. Its range is got the highest high. Its average is really kind of above everybody else's top. So maybe that 10 horse typey, it's a good place to go. They're all dropping in class with the exception of the 5 horse. Some dropping more than other, but most of them dropping at least 5 points on the speed gun. The only one that hasn't hit par so far, but only 1 point below, is Minari. Jockeys and trainers, boy, that 8 horse covers them all. Top jockey, top trainer, if that's your angle. On the early pace, it does look like the 3 has a little bit of an edge over everybody else. That's why we think it'll be the first call leader. At the end, the 5, 1, and 6 have the most late speed. Top total pace picture here, Terry, very competitive race. Down to the 6th horse, only about 5.5 points difference between top to bottom there in the first 6. This one can go a lot of different ways too. Which way do you think it'll go?
I like the 1 as my top choice. She's returning to the turf where she seems to do much better. She has a trainer who wins 27% of the races when taking a horse from an all-weather surface to the turf, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Leo Toro, the 8's my second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 9 is my third choice, drops in class today as well, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 22% of the races when shipping a horse in to compete, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. And then the 10 is my long shot. She drops in class today. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 22% of the races. The first time a horse he trains competes in a claiming race, and her best turf speed is fast among today's starters, as well as she's got a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets here for me.
I think I have $6 left. I'm going to do something here with my $6, Terry. I'm going to do a $1 exacta. I hope I spell that right. Key box live on air 10 over the 1, the 8, and the 9. That's going to be $6. I like the 10 horse Type B. You saw on the speed chart that one's average race is better than the top for most of them. Going to be closing. First race off the bench usually does pretty well, and plenty of back class. La Salianeta, the Uno horse, better in the second start after a layoff, does have a lot of late juice. Number 9, Woodwhoa, can run a lot of different ways. Showed it can run up front, can run in the middle. It is that lone P horse, the Sesame Street horse like we talked about. Its best races have been when jockey Dylan Davis is on the mount, and he gets back on the horse today. And then finally, Leo Toro, the Ocho. Irad rides for the very first time in this horse's career. And this horse has been well bet no matter who the jockey is. So I suspect you'll see with Irad coming on, that trend continue. Race 6 is our trend continues, Terry, towards the final race of this week. But before we go there, we got to go here. Where are they going?
It's a 1 mile race. It's a claiming race for $8,000 claiming price, purse $23,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
Yes, especially now that we're deep into the Kentucky Derby qualifying. It's important to note which horses are making their routes 1 turn or 2 turns. Here you can see 1 mile at the Gulfstream Park track is a 1-turn mile, meaning it does tend to act a little bit more like a sprint than a route. And that's what we see in the data, Terry, because 37% of the time the horse that gets to the front stays there. There's a real bonus. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 is a bit of a discount. With the scratches, there are only 4 races today, 4 horses in this race today. So the one that gets to the lead at the very minimum has a 25% chance to stay there, Terry. Who, according to our simulations of the 4, is going to lead?
Well, it appears that 5 has the most speed of everybody. I think that 5 gets a good break. Should go to that quarter pole first. And then the 1 has an overlay from 9 to 5 to 3 to 1. 4 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 9 to 2. And the 5 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 5 to 1. All of them show par plus numbers and all have some speed, as you saw. The 1 and 2 have the most or the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, most of these horses, none of them really want to be on the lead. Most of them prefer to be middle back. So get to the front, you probably got a pretty good chance in here. They're pretty evenly spaced out on the speed figures, so really probably no internal advantage of that from a bigger picture. Although the 1 last time out did run a speed figure, 4 points clear of everybody else. You can see the 1 and 5, they clearly have an early pace advantage over the rest of the field. Although the 4 does have a pretty aggressive late pace edge, more than 1 length quicker than everybody else. The 5, the 4, the 1, the 2. Well, it looks like you can put the 2 to the side and pick between the 5, 4, and 1. Terry, we picked the same 2, I believe, on top. Who was your first choice?
Well, I like the 4 Lady Monique. She finished 3rd versus Tupper on an all-weather in her last race. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then the 1 Field of Blossoms won her last race at Gulfstream Park. The rail post winning at a 23% clip, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. How about that? The 5 is my 3rd choice. Drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey, and should improve while returning to the dirt. And the 2, the only remaining horse, is my Longshot. Was bumped last race, affecting her race finish, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I'm going to play the last pick 4, Miami Vice, Don Johnson. I'm going to use the 1-4 with the 1-2-4-5 with the 2-3-6. Finish up with the 2-3-7-9, a $48 cost.
Yeah, 4-1-5-2. We have the exact same order. Only 4 horses in the race. Probably should just put the 2 up front since we both think that one's not going to qualify. But Lady Monique did run better early pace last time out and fractions. It's usually a sign of a horse on the right path. Number 1, Field of Blossoms. It is our simulation favorite, barely, but it is. Should be forward. The top last race speed figure was 4 points clear of the next closest horse, as we pointed out in the data sheet, which is available if you want to take a look at it for your use. There is a link in the description on YouTube. You'll find it there. Just click on that and you'll get the data sheets that we're using. Darling, the 5 horse, how you got to say it the Chicago way, Terry. How about that? Good chance to be the pace setter today, where speed has a good shot. And then 4 horse field, if you get the right fractions, you can be up front all the way around. And the 2 horse, there's 4 horses. Someone's got to be 4th. We both put this one 4th. So you know what that means, Terry?
Probably going to win.
Finishes first, yes. So just single the 2 and then make your pick 4s from there. I'm going to go 1-4, 1-2-4-5 over to 2-6, and then I'm going to go 1-2-4-5-7-8 because I think every horse can win the final race. Race number 2 is coming up. It's Florida. We have enough time to do race number 7, Terry. Let's talk about the ongoings in number 7.
All right, so in this race here, we're going to go to a 1/16 all weather. It's a claiming race, $12,500 claiming price, purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
So $1.16 on the Tapeta. Stalkers do great 19% of the time. Horse on the lead keeps it. all the way around the track. There's a rail bonus for Bubbly Champagne. 2 through 7 play a little under par, 8 an ounce of bonus again. So again, be on the rail, be on the outside. A little bit of tactical speed is definitely useful. Who's got the speed in race number 7, Terry?
Well, as you can see there, the 2, 5, and 1 all have pretty similar speeds, so they could go head to head to that quarter pole. The 5 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 4 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 15 to 1. All but the 6 has par plus numbers that are decent, and the 6 is a maybe. And then all of them have comfort zones. Some of them are kind of low, like the 6 and the 7, but a lot of them do pretty well, especially that 5.
Yeah, but none of them are over 50%. So, and really none of them want to be on the lead. Most of the horses want to be middle back. The 2 and 5, they do have the ability to get to the front. And looking at the speed chart, looks like the 1 horse here, Bubbly Champagne, its average race is, tops most of the horse's best races, except for maybe the 5. But the 5 can throw in some clunkers, as can the 2. If, again, jockeys and trainers are your thing, the 2 horse, the top jockey combination. On the trainer side, looks like the 1 and the 2, maybe the 4. They get some play. All but the 3 and the 6 are moving in class. You can see plenty of horses showed some improvement in their last race, but only the 2 showed some better fractions, both at the half and quarter mile. The 3 picked it up a little bit early on. 7 gives us a 3-point last race speed figure advantage. And our top 4 in total pace over here, Terry, they're well clear of the rest. So take the 1, the 2, the 4, or the 5. One of them is likely to be your winner. 70% chance that's the case. Those are the horses we have. Make the case for the 1.
Yeah, I like the 1 Bubbly Campaign. She finished in the money in 7 of her last 8 starts, won one of those races. She has a trainer wins 23% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. And she has the best all-weather speed among today's starters. And then the 4 is my second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse. She has a high percentage winning jockey and likes the distance. The 2 is my third choice. She has a trainer, wins 37% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and she switches to high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez. And then the 5 is my long shot, Be Here Now. She drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 26% of the races. The first time the horse he trains in first time claiming race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me as I'm out of money.
Well, the 4 Oya Thunder is an all or nothing horses. 2 out of 8 races it won. Both of those 2 races were on all weather, and both of them were in 5 tries at the distance. Bubbly Champagne, the 1, the distance is proper, 7 times out, 5 seconds, and the 3rd ran a little faster. Going to stretch out today. Reassess the 2 horse. That 1, Paco, better early fractions last thought, going to be forward. Number 5, Be Here Now. The last race was brutal. Half of her races have been brutal. It's a 5-year-old, so she's kind of old, making the second start in a row for the first time. So that's my finally healthy angle. Looking at race number 2, Terry, they are loading up right now. Let's take a look at our data for race number 2. Looks like the 10 is your favorite at 9 to 5. If you're looking for some value in here, Terry, it looks like the 8 horse at 6 to 1. We think 9 to 2 is a better set of odds. The 5 horse, well, fair. It's a little bit overpriced. They're getting ready to run, so let's go about looking at race number 2, see how it plays out. In a 10-horse field on the Tapeta track, going, in this case, a whopping 1.70 miles. A clean break for everybody. 3 and the 8 are at the tail of the pack. The 1 horse on the rail trying to dart through. Has a little bit of company to the outside. It looks like the 5 horse and then the 9 being forced up the track about 3 wide. The 1 horse, Ruby River, is your leader. The 5 horse right now, Miss Morgan, running in second. It's running a little bit. Its head's kind of bobbing around a little bit. Usually not a good sign. The 9 horse, JJ's Honor, the long shot to the outside. Down on the rail, saving some ground. Zena's World. To the outside of Zena's World is Trumpeta, the 7 horse. Down on the rails, the 3. And then the favorite, the 10, probably about 3 lengths off the leader as they go to that much-loved front view coming down the back stretch. I don't know why. Why don't you just use a drone or something so we can get a little better view of what's going on, because we have no idea. The 1 horse continues to set the tone, although the 5 seems to have gathered itself. It's now taking the lead. The 9 running smoothly on the outside, but 10 has been asked. Diamonds and Thrills, it has put the jets on. It's decided to engage, and here comes the 8 horse. Buffalo Girl on the outside. That one's moving fairly aggressively too. Grand Sticker. The 10 horse has made its way to the front of the pack. Looks like it will be challenged by the 8s and then maybe nothing else. 8's got a long way to go as it was forced 5 wide up the track. That's a pretty wide trip. The 4 horse is going to make a move to get into the play here. It's going to be tight down the stretch. I don't think the 8 horse is going to get him, but he might because he's running sideways up the track. It's really tough to tell, Terry. It's going to go 10, 8, 4, and 7. 10, 8, 4, and 7. Circle that 8 horse, folks. If you like to follow horses, that one was Grand Sticker. It only made its second career start today, and it still ran a little bit green, ran up the track, down the stretch, had to run wide. That horse straightened out. It probably would have been your winner. Would have been a tough, close one at the end there, but clearly a little bit more stamina in that one, and you still might catch it at decent odds the next time out. So what do we got, Terry? Race 8, 9, is that it?
Yeah, we're going to race 8. And so in race 8, let's see, we're going to go to 1 mile and an 1/8, an all-weather track, optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $96,000. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won $20,000 once other than maiden claiming starter or restricted, or which have never won 2 races or a claiming price of $25,000.
Yes, and you know what you can do? You can follow the great Don Johnson's advice. Hit that like button. It's free. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Follow us on X if you haven't. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. Our goal for 2025, and we can only get there with your help. That's to get to 10,000 followers on both YouTube and X. Once we get to 10,000, it unlocks a lot of extra tools from us so that it actually will accelerate our growth. More growth we get, the more we're going to invest in what we can bring to you. And there's other things that are coming now that these sheets are done. I think one thing that I'm working on is probably a question a lot of folks have. I'll keep it a little bit of a secret for now so no one beats me to it. But I do think it'll be a very useful tool, especially when you're analyzing stakes races. All right, Terry, for race number 8, 1 1/8 mile on the all-weather track. So far, they've only run a trio of those races, Terry. Early Speed has won 2 out of 3. In fact, they went wire to wire in those 2 out of 3. Nobody's won from post 1, 2, or 3. 1 winner from post 4 through 7. The other 2 winners from 8 and out. I know 3 races is not really a big data set, but if 2 out of 3 go wire to wire and 2 out of 3 have post 8 and out, I think you want to be a Buffalo Girl on the outside with some speed. Terry, what do you think?
Well, that could be, but as you can see there, they all show some speed, especially the top 5 horses. And so I think it's an anyone's guess race. Then the 1 has an overlay 9-5 to 6-1. The 2 has an overlay 4-1 to 6-1. And the 4's overlay is 4-1 to 12-1, which is pretty nice. And then the 1, 2, and 3 show good par plus numbers. They're maybes, and they're kind of low. And then all but the 4 and 5, 1, 4, 5, all of them have comfort zone, but the 1, 4, and 5 show the best ones, especially that 4.
Again, no true leader or co-pilot in here. Everybody wants to be a co-pilot or sit and coach. 1, 2, 4, and 5, the PC types, a lot of versatility. So if it goes too slow, I'd expect one of those group to move forward. If it goes too fast, they'll be patient. 3 and 6 want to close. Does look like the inside 3, their average races are better than the outside 4 from a speed figure standpoint. And a lot of horses showing some improvement last time out. A good mix of horses coming up in class and dropping in class. If you like the jockey standpoint, looks like Mexican Sugar along with Shade of Pale, 2 best jockey combinations. Down here, the LeBeau has the best trainer relative to the other trainers in the race. Also, Shade of Pale. Strong jockey and trainer combo down there with the 6 horse. Looking at the early pace, well, we see here the 7, 4, and 2. They have a pretty good edge on the rest. The 1 horse, De Matrona, a 1-length late speed advantage over everybody else. If we look here, our top 4 total pace horses, once again, pretty tight picture. about a length drop off from there. So maybe the 1, 4, 5, or 6, 70% of the time the winner comes from that group. Terry, what's your group?
Well, I like the 6, Shade of Pale. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 28% of the horses. Second race off a layoff, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Miss Tart, the 2 is my second choice. Won her last race at Gulfstream Park. Her best all-weather speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 28% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Aspen Dawn, the 3, is my third choice, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and then the 4, Awesome Spirit Gal, my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and they added Lasix today. I'm out of money, so no additional bets for me.
I'm going to put Miss Tart at the top of my ticket today. 2 of its 3 wins came on all weather in 3 races. It's tried another surface 8 times, only managed to collect the winner's check and take a photo in 1 of those 8. I think getting a little extra distance today after going $1.70 last time out is the winning ticket for Miss Tart. Shade of Pale, you have Chad Brown, you have Irad Ortiz. That is a Hall of Fame duo. Remember when we had on Mr. Hazelton? God, I can't remember his first name. Forgive me. From TVG.
Scott. Wasn't it Scott Hazelton?
Scott Hazelton, yes, sir. On the Players Edge podcast. You know, he comes from his father, Richard Hazelton, was a trainer. One of the perspectives he brings is the trainer intent. And I remember him saying, pay attention to trainer intent. Well, in this race, the 6 horse, it's an optional claiming race. You'll see it's not in for a price, as most of them aren't in there. But you got a Chad Brown horse with an Irad Ortiz. The intent here is to pick up a check. There's no question about that. The only question is all weather. The number 4, Awesome Spirit Gal. That's my third choice. Breeding is strong. First, Lasix is the key to the winning ticket here. And then De Matrona. That is your most consistent performer in the field at a level that's fairly close to winning here all the time. $1 trifecta box, 1, 2, 4, 6. And then a $5 double, 2, 6 with the 5 and the 7. A little bit of foreshadowing for race number 9, Terry. And that is where we will finish up this week.
All right. So we're going to go to the turf again, and we're going on a mile and a 16th. It's a maiden claiming race, $35,000 claiming price, purse $37,000. And it's for maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds. That's it.
Yeah, so a touch more than one time around the track. What it takes to get to the finish line first is to be middle forward, still 14%. The only best 14 I can think of is Dan Fouts. If anybody can think of a better 14, let me know in the comment section. There is a rail bonus for Champagne on Ice, 2 and 3. Kind of fair. 4 through 7, a bonus. 8 and out, kind of a tough spot to be. So it looks like you want to be in the inside 7, Terry. A little bit of tactical speed for the inside 7 is useful as well. Where is that speed found?
Well, as you can see there, they all have speed. The inside horse, the outside horse, they all do. So it's really anyone's guess again. The 2 has an overlay from 3-1 to 6-1. The 5's overlay is from 3-1 to a nice 20-1. All of them show par plus numbers, but the 6 is the best. And all of them show speed, of course. The 7, 9, 3, and 2 have the best C zones.
And the only one where we did 1,000 simulations where today's race matches its best performances is that 7 horse. It is your lone P type. Everybody else middle back. 1 and 9 so far, not within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. You can see here on this, on our speed chart, the 5 horse, it's only got 1 race, and its speed figures at the top of the list there. The 8 horse, again, today, first-time starter. You're looking at trainers, well, you're looking at the 7 horse, Vacoma's War, although not too far with the Temple City Tabo. Top jock combo right there, the 9 horse, Awesome Compa, and the 2, Hippie Shakin'. No horse with a big speed figure advantage. Top 4 total pace horses in here. Yeah, this is a really tight race. Of the top 6, there's really only about 8-9 points separating worst to first. No big race advantages early, no big race advantages late. Terry, I thought in my pick 4, this race can go 1,000 different ways. Which way do you see it going?
Yeah, I did too. Originally, I had went 6 horses in here, but then they scratched that one hard favorite, I think, out of the 6th race or so, and that made me change. So, but I went with the 7. She finished third versus Tupper in her last race. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 23% of the races. When using second time Lasix with a horse he trains, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Cocktail Kiss is the 3 is my second choice. Drops in class today. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. She's actually tied with another. And then she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and they added blinkers today to keep her mind on business. Hippie Shake, the 2 is my third choice. She ran second versus similar on an all-weather track at Gulfstream Parks, and she has switches to a high percentage winning jockey, Paco Lopez, and she has a bullet workout at 4 furlongs on February 4th. 9 is my longshot awesome campaign. She finished third versus similar on the all-weather in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. As I've said, I'm out of money, so no additional bets for me here.
I'm going to go with Goody's Girl. I know it's a 20-1 shot in there, Terry, but it is making its second career start. And if we look over here, you do see it does have second race par ability with a speed figure to go maybe as high as 85. It can go a little bit higher than that. That's, the number that on the top end. So that's why I put that there. Again, all this information available in the data sheet. If you go to the YouTube description where it says more, click on that, go through the description. You'll see a link to the PDF so you can take a look at the data. Again, we'll have all of that available. A lot of stuff on there that you just cannot get anywhere else. After the 5 horse, I like the 7 horse, Vacoma's War. Just missed last time it raced. Takes another step down in class today. Number 8, Temple City Taboo. This one is, aside from the Longshot 6, the only horse in this race that has hit par. Got to give the first-time starter, Tyler G., a chance. And then finally, the 1 horse, there's a couple of maiden special weight droppers in here. I think the 1 and the 4, they fit that bill. I went with the 1 over the 4. Because it hasn't had a clean trip in 4 races, gets a clean trip today, could be a difference maker. $2 exact, the key box, 5 over the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 7, and the 8. Hoping that long shot can come home at a decent price today, Terry, in the second race. Here are our full picks for today. So far, Terry, your return has been good news because it's gone 6-10.
Yep.
And then after that, we differ a lot. So it can't be the first pick all the way down, Mr. Terry. But hopefully it's a good combination of picks where your best bet wins. My picks hit, and we both hit our pick 4s to close out the week. Before we run off, folks, if you have any comments or suggestions, tell us what you think about the data sheets. If you like it, if there's some changes, I do have an explanation. I'll include it on any of the PDFs we attach going forward, what every data point means so that you can use it to your advantage as well. Hit me up at HRT Rich if any comments, suggestions, or thoughts about them. If you want me to deliver some to you for another track that's running that we don't have, let me know. I can probably email them to you. You can also get me at gtsrich@gmail.com. Any final thoughts from you, Terry, before we get up and get out of here today?
Yeah, I want everybody that's watching that hasn't subscribed to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell so that you find out about all the great programs coming up. And then copy that link, share it with everybody you know. Go down to our social sites that are scrolling on the bottom here at Horse Race the number 2. Give us a thumbs up and a like. And keep those comments and picks coming as you've done today. We enjoy to get them, and they help us out a lot with our algorithms.
Again, free track today, guaranteed tip sheet. Just hit the tip sheet button here. It'll bring you here. You'll see that Sunland Park with all the cancellations. One track that's probably fast and furious today in New Mexico, but still pretty cold down there, I suppose. Just a few minutes over at horseracingtoday.net. We will post today's replay of the show along with our comments. You can get that here. Click on that. And after you click on that, again, hit the HRT Gear button right there. It'll take you to our merchandise. I'm telling you, warmer weather's coming. You're going to want to look fantastic in your horse racing today gear. So kindly do that. Support the show. Again, another way that will allow for us to bring you more content. That's it for this week, folks. Terry and I'll be back on Monday and Tuesday for Parks, Wednesday and Thursday for Gulfstream Park again. I will again post something on horseracingtoday.net over the weekend for the Saudi Cup. So be on the lookout for that. We'll let you know when it's out on all of our social sites. Until then, may you have God's grace, God's favor in all your endeavors, and may everything end up in
The winner's circle.
Fantastic. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.